On Beyond Zebra by Dr. Seuss. This book is used and we do not mind. On Beyond Zebra. Said Conrad Cornelius O'Donnell Odell, my very young friend who is learning to spell. The A is for ape. The B is for bear. The C is for camel. The H is for hare. The M is for mouse and the R is for rat. I know all the 26 letters like that. Through to Z is for zebra, I know them all well, said Conrad Cornelius O'Donnell Odell. So now I know everything anyone knows from beginning to end, from the start to the close, because Z is as far as the alphabet goes. Then he almost fell flat on his face on the floor when I picked up the chalk and drew one letter more, a letter he never dreamed of before. And I said, you can stop if you want with the Z, because most people stop with the Z, but not me. In the places I go, there are things that I see that I never could spell if I stopped with the Z. I'm telling you this because you're one of my friends. My alphabet starts where your alphabet ends. My alphabet starts with this letter called Yuz. It's a letter I use to spell Yuzamatuz. You'll be sort of surprised that there is to be found once you go beyond Z and start poking around.
Looking around too.
So on Beyond Zebra, explore like Columbus. Discover new letters like Wum is for Wumbus, my high-spouting whale who lives high on a hill, who never comes down till it's time to refill. So on Beyond Z, it's high time you were shown that you really don't know where all there is to be known. Then just step a step further past Wum is for Wumbus, and there you'll find and the is for Umbus, a sort of a cow with a head and one tail. But to milk this great cow, you need more than one pail. It has 98 faucets that give milk quite nicely, perhaps 99, I forget just precisely. And boy, she is something most people don't see, because most people stop at the Z, but not me.
The cow.
I ramble, I scramble through swamp and through swamp, where the letters get better, like letters like humph. There's really a handy letter. What's handy about it? You can't spell humph, humph, a dumper without it. If you stay home with Zebra, you're stuck in a rut. But on Beyond Zebra, you're anything but. Why, I know a fine fancy letter called Fuddle. I use it for spelling Miss Fuddle-dee-Duddle. And oh, what a bird of a bird of a bird of. Her tail is the longest that I've ever heard of. So long and so fancy she'd be in a fix if she didn't have helpers. It takes about 6 to tag along hoisting Miss Fuddle-dee-Duddle's wonderful tail out of muddle-dee-puddles.
There's a stick with holding her.
And Glick is for Glicker, who lives in wild weeds and spends his time juggling fresh cinnamon seeds. But he is usually able to find in great number, excepting, of course, in the month of September, when cinnamon seeds aren't around in great number. So that month he juggles with seeds of cucumber.
Cucumber. A cucumber seeds?
Cucumber seeds.
Whoa.
Whoa. And N is the letter I use to spell nutches, and live in small caves known as niches for hutches. These nutches have troubles, the biggest of which is the fact that there are many more nutches than niches. Each nutch in a notch knows what some other nutch would like to move into his niche very much. So each nutch in a niche has to watch that small niche, or nutches who haven't got niches will snitch. They're trying to steal each other's homes.
That was weird.
Then we go on to Snee, and the Snee is for Sneedle, a terrible kind of ferocious mosquito whose humdinger stinger is sharp as a needle. The Sneedle's too tough to be killed with a smack, so he has to be hunted on an elephant's back. And your eyes in the elephants have to be keen, so you have to aim fast and you have to hit clean. And the bullet you shoot is a stale navy bean that you've dunked for 3 weeks in old sour kerosene, which is awfully hard work, so it's easy to see why most people stop at the Z, but not me. When you go on beyond zebra, who knows? There's no telling what wonderful things you might find yourself spelling. Like Quan is for quandary, who lives in a shelf in a hole in the ocean alone by himself. And he worries each day from the dawn's early light. And he worries, just worries far into the night. He just stands there and worries. He simply can't stop. Is his top side his bottom or bottom side top?
Wait, why are you not worried? What's the worry about?
He's worried because he doesn't know which side is which side because he's the same on top as he is on bottom. And Thnad is for thnatters. And oh, are they sad? Oh, the big one you see has the smaller one's shadow. The shadow the small thnatter should be his. I don't understand it, but that's how it is. A terrible mix-up in shadows. Gee whiz. And spaz is a letter I used to spell spasm, a beast who belongs to the nasm of basm. Handy for traveling, that's why he has them. More easy to pack than a suitcase or grip. Those horns carry all that he needs on a trip. A thread and a needle for mending his socks, his toothbrush, a cup, and 2 3-handed clocks, and his velvet umbrella, his vegetable chopper, and also his gold-plated popping corn popper, and a grasshopper cage for his favorite grasshopper. Yeah, his favorite grass. Very organized. And flob. Is it a floob? And floob is for floob, boober, bab, boober, bubs, who bounce in the water like blubbery tubs. Oh, careful, dear. Careful. They're no good to eat. You can't cook them like steaks, but they're handy in crossing small oceans and lakes.
There's an F and a B mixed up.
The letters are mixed up. Floob. And Zats is the letter I used to spell Zatsit, whose nose is so high that most nobody pats it. And patting his lonely old nose is the least that a fellow could do for his fine, friendly beast. So to get there and to do it, I built an invention, the 3-seater Zatsit nose patting extension. So if you try to drive one, you'll certainly see why most people stop at the Z, but not me.
Not him. Sometimes I stop with the C.
That's okay. And jog is my letter for spelling jog-oons, who doodle around in the far desert dunes. Just doodle around crooning very sad tunes about peppermint, peanuts, and pebbles and prunes, and paint pots and polka dots, pinheads and pigs, and their grandmother's, grandfather's, stepsister's wigs. So you see, there's no end to the things you might know, depending on how far beyond zebra you go. I have a letter called Floon, and the Floon is for Flannel, a softish, nice fellow who hides in a tunnel. He only comes out of his hole, I'm afraid, when the right kind of softish, nice music is played on a kind of hunting horn called the ogrunneth. And to learn how to play it takes month after month of practicing isn't much funneth. And besides, it's quite heavy, weighs almost a tonneth. That's why very few people bother to play the ogrunneth. So the Flunnel's been out of this tunnel just oneth.
That's an F and an H.
Yeah. The way past thee is a letter called itch, and the itch is for itchapods, animals which race around back and forth and back through the air on a very high sidewalk between here and there. They're afraid to stay there. They're afraid to stay here. They think there is too far. They think here is too near. And since here is too near and out there is too far, they are too scared to roost wheresoever they are. There's a letter called yek, and the yek is for Yekko, who howls in an underground grotto is gecko. These geckos love echoes, and this is their motto. For best gecko echoes, try gecko or grotto. Oh, the things you can find if you don't stay behind. In a world near the sun live 2 brothers called Vrooms, who strangely enough are built sort of like brooms. And they're stuck all alone up there high in the blue. And so to kill time just for something to do, each one of these fellows takes turns with the other in sweeping the dust off the world with his brother.
That was weird.
That's interesting. Very creative.
Wait, I see it weird.
And hi is my letter for hi gargalamurum. For getting me places real fast, I'm all for 'em. They puffle along on their brakes, never squeak, and they run every hour, every day of the week, from the town of North Nub to the town of East Ounce, making stops at West Binglefield, Yupster, and Jounce, and at Ipswich and Nipswich, and also South Bounce, and another small town that's too hard to pronounce. The places I took him, I tried hard to tell. Young Conrad, Cornelius, O'Donnell, Odell. A few brand new wonderful words he might spell. I led him around and I tried hard to show. There are things beyond zebra that most people don't know. I took him past zebra as far as I could. And I think perhaps maybe I did him some good. Because finally he said, this is really great stuff. And I guess the old alphabet isn't enough. Now the letters he uses are something to see. Most people stop at the Z, but not he.
Oh my gosh.
Very creative letters. Wow. List the letters for people who don't stop at Z. Here's all the letters that were creatively made. We should try some at home and see if we can mix up some letters into new letters by mixing them up.
I'll do with the B and the F.
That's a great idea. Here's one that they say, you look at this. What letters do you see? And what should you call them? What do you think?
I think
You tell me what you think. The end.